Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. In this video we're going to continue to build Gary Weiss's HAYS pipe and steel. So with that being said, if you guys like to see how I went from this to that, stay tuned and watch the video. We'll be right back. Alright guys, I really wasn't going to record this, but I think I will, just to do it as a separate little video rather than everything being done on my live stream. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how I take this piece right here, this upside down T-piece, and let's see, make it look like this piece right here. And this piece right here is going to be, let me try and get you a little closer, the trolleys for the overhead crane that I'm building for Gary Weiss. Anyhow, the idea is that I'm going to take this guy, and I already did the walls on my live stream, so if you want to see that, go to December 14th live stream and you'll see that. But anyhow, the idea is to put this on the inside of here like this, and that's how it would look. And I'm not doing 100% glue right now. I'm doing like 4 dabs of glue just so I can see if I can, how everything is going to work out basically. I'll mock up using the plastic rather than cardboard. Anyhow, so I had made, a couple weeks ago I had made a trolley that I thought I was going to use for the top, for the, where the winches are. But I decided I was going to have John Tanzillo do me a 3D print on it, which would be a lot better than what I could build. So, with that being said, I took the one I made, I took it apart and used it for here, and just built the whole dealie on here. And I put these angle irons. You can see that right there. That'll look like it's welded on the outside, when in actuality it'll be glued on the inside here to a support that is right there. So anyhow, like I said, I really wasn't thinking about recording this, but I decided to do it anyhow. So right now I have already mounted the wheels on this one here. So like I said, if you want to see how I took this one and got to this one, and stay tuned and I'll show you what I've done so far. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, next what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and cover up to make this look a little bit more neat and be more finished. And for that I'm going to be using these number 116 styrene strips. And as you can see, I've already got a couple of tick marks in there where I want to put this, so I can just go ahead and lay the glue down, and we'll secure it to there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now while you guys watch me do it. So, alright. This has already been sanded down and leveled out and all that kind of good stuff, so I'm pretty safe that I can go ahead and mount this piece. And the reason for the tick marks is so I know I have the exact amount overlaying on each side. I'll just put him on there, and it just happens to be the right size of what I'm doing here. So basically we have that right now. You see that? So I'm going to let this dry up, and then we're going to come around the corners, and all I'm going to do is kind of give it a little scribe on the back side of it so it bends easy. Because that's a 90. If it was a curved, I wouldn't worry about it, but it's a 90, so I'll just go ahead and give it a little scratch mark on each side so I can bend it down nice and easy. So when that gets done, we'll be right back. Alright guys, while I'm waiting for this piece to dry right here, I'm going to go ahead and add my angle irons on the edges here, and that's going to be from the observation side, to look like that's the plate that welds this piece to the rest of the crane. So that's just a little detail that I thought I'd throw in here. Just you know, for the extra detail. I mean, if I really don't know what these things look like in real life, so basically I'm just guessing on everything. I think this is number 291 are the angles I'm using on here, and they are 6-inch angle iron and N scale. And I hope you guys can see. I hope it wasn't out of frame there, but I just made it a bit longer. As you can see right there, I made it a bit longer, and then after it dries I'll just go ahead and trim it down. That's the way I do it, and it makes it easier. I don't have to worry about measuring anything. It'll always come out right. And so we'll do this side also. Now, believe it or not, guys, if you guys have been following me both on my live streams and here, I had some surgery done on this hand right here, and these tweezers right here are what the physical therapist used to pull my stitches out. And so I asked him if I could have it when he was done, and he gladly gave them to me. So yeah, so that was pretty fun. Anyhow, we'll let that dry up for a little bit. As you can see, I got both angle irons on there now. And we'll just let that dry up, let everything dry up, and then I'll continue on doing this. Be right back. Alright guys, I didn't mention to you earlier, but as you can see, I got these 3 round deals right here. Well, I just am assuming that the biggest one is going to be the motor that's going to drive this thing back and forth, and these 2 little guys are probably pulleys or gears or something like that. So anyhow, I just thought I'd let you guys know, and I made those just out of rod, evergreen rods, and I just cut them down. And, I mean, it was kind of a pain to do the little guys, these little guys right here, but basically all I did was I would take a rod, one of these rods here, like this guy right here, and just put it down here, and think about it as slicing a piece of bologna or something like that, and just push down and cut it. So they worked out pretty good. They look pretty good. This whole thing is going to get painted the same color, and I'm thinking I'm going to do it in yellow, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know exactly what color I'm going to paint this puppy yet. But anyhow, I just wanted to give you a little update on how I put these trolleys together. So stay tuned, and we'll continue on here in a few minutes. Alright, I told you guys when I'm ready to bend these over, I was going to go ahead and do a little scribe mark. So all I do is just take my knife, put it up against the sidewall here, and just run it a couple times, just to get it a little bit easier to bend so it doesn't break on you. And do the same thing on this side again. I'm not going all the way through, and just kind of giving it a little bit of scribe mark. And then we will see how easily it bends over. You see, it just bent nice 90-degree curve. So I'll go ahead and glue these guys and hold them in place until they dry up, and then we'll get back to the rest of this. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, now pretty much the entire front of this little bogey, or whatever you want to call it, is done. As you can see, I've added my angle irons here on the edges, and I also added a cross beam in here. So now we're going to turn our attention to the back side, and we are going to do 3 pieces of the number 175s, 1, 2, and 3. And that's what's going to get glued to the inside of the body of the crane. Anyhow, I'm set up here with my chopper, and I'll go ahead and turn this around this way. Put him right there. I'm going to be doing at least 2 this size. There's 1. And there's 2. So those 2 will be going up the sides. And then once they are dry, I'll fill in the top section. So, move this out of the way. And we will go ahead and glue these guys in place. Now, mind you guys, I've never scotch built an overhead crane before, and I just go from like pictures I've seen and just other people's models and stuff like that. The Walther's kit, I just couldn't see spending $30 and I'm only going to use a very small portion of it, so I decided to build it. And I think so far it's looking pretty good in my opinion. So, make sure this guy's straight. Alright. And we got this one here. He's straight. They have to be level at the top. So basically, the angle irons will look like that's where it was welded at the factory, but in theory these pieces in the back here are what's going to actually glue and secure and make the whole frame sturdy. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I have that one piece that goes across the top there, and then we are going to put a capper on that too. So anyhow, let me let this dry up and I'll be back in a few. Alright guys, what you see in front of you right now is the 4 major components for the crane frame. This is one side, here's the other side, and as you can see I got all my ribbing done on there. I did that all on my Friday night live stream on December 14th. You can check that out there. And today's what I did was these guys. The end pieces slash trolleys, and as soon as it all dries up I'm going to sand all these edges down, make sure they're all pretty much square, and then I will mount them to here. And hopefully the measurements I gave John Tanzillo, who's going to be doing the winch part of this build with his 3D printer, I still have a couple of days to assemble this and then verify the size that I gave him. Anyhow, we'll see how that goes. I'll be back, like I said, when all this stuff dries up and I can sand it and actually put the frame together and make it look like an overhead crane. Alright, so we'll be back in a little bit. Bye for now. Alright guys, after looking at that first attempt at building the crane, I thought it was a bit too big. So after I assembled it, I disassembled it and I cut 3 feet off the top of the crane. So now it looks like this, which enables me to actually change the height of the building. If you guys remember, I always tell you guys it's the proportion, and as tall as this building was, it just didn't look right with the other 2 elevations, the front elevation and the side elevation. So with this being cut down the way it is now, and I'm able to change the height of the building, which I think is going to look better, and you guys will see that towards the end of the video. So anyhow, with all that being said, let's go ahead and continue on with the rest of the video. Alright guys and gals, we're going to switch gears here, and the reason why I'm saying that is because this past week, or a few days ago, Roy Hardwick was on his way through town, and he stopped by for an hour and a half or so, whatever he had time to do. And we were discussing this current build that I'm doing for Gary Weiss. And I was showing him this, and because he was thinking that I put one piece of plastic here and nothing over here and it was going to be cockeyed and all that, so I showed him this. And he said to me, you know, there are structures, steel structures, if this was a part, that would be this one plus that one, that would create the structure for the roof supports. So with that being said, I went ahead and started to construct these. Okay, I'll back up and tell you why. I needed to do 2 more of those structures, and one 12-inch piece of this is like $6, and I just didn't want to spend $6. So I started doing this, and I wound up with this. And guys, I want to tell you something. Roy, I appreciate your input, buddy. I think this is going to look a lot better for the type of building that it is. So yeah, and again, I got to make 7 of the total. I think total 7 of these. So I have 5, so I need to make 2 more. So anyhow, I'm going to show you how I put these guys together, and we'll go on from there. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, in order to get on with the the new roof support system, I need to take these apart. I don't want to redo all of these. I already have to do 4 more to complete how many I want. So luckily when I put this together, I actually left a little ridge right there, and this is my razor saw. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I already determined that I'm going to cut off 5 scale feet from the bottom of these because these are kind of tall. Alright, so now that those are cut, we can go ahead and start putting one of these guys together. This one is partially done, so it's ready to be mounted. Okay, now the supports I need to hold the crane up, they are 26 feet from the bottom. And you know what? This guy doesn't look like... Hold on. Hold on, I think I might have miscalculated that. And I did. Better take a measurement now before I go any further. We got 3 1/4. We got 3 1/4. Okay, so we're good. I did not mess up. Yay me! So the arrow is a straight side, so we need to flip this guy over and we just mark him. And now we'll go ahead and mark how high the crane supports are going to be. They're going to be 26 feet from the bottom edge. I'll just put a little thing right there. And again with this guy here. Thing right there. Then I'll take my little T, if I can find it. I got so much junk going on this table right now. Here it is. From the straight side, I will go ahead and draw a line so I can make sure that when I put my brackets on here that they stay straight. So we'll go ahead and so now I have pretty much a level line. And we'll do the same thing with this from the straight side. Go. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put this assembly together. I'll put a couple of small pieces of styrene in here to make this look like it's 2 pieces, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you how I make the brackets for the crane. So hang on and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, we're going to assemble this next roof support and wall support system. I have this little T-square that's a little indentation on it so I can run it up and down along my glass so I know my glass is square, and then I'll put my long ruler there and I'll put this up against all of that. That makes this vertical perfectly square, I think, I hope. And then you're going to take some glue, you're going to put it on the bottom of this guy. You're holding all 3 of these guys together right here. I know it's high technology here, guys. So we'll just put them like that. So right now this vertical and this horizontal should be square. So we're just gonna let it sit there for a while and get set up a bit, and then we'll continue with this side. Put this side in the same exact way. So we'll be back and I'll show you how I make the little brackets to hold up the crane support. Alright guys, so as you can see now I have put this on the same exact way using my little T-dealy that I got and my long ruler, and just putting it up there and make sure it's square. And it is. So, alright, so we're just going to let that set up. Let me check this side one more time because I think it moved. Yeah, we're good. Alright, we'll let this sit up, and I'll go ahead and do the rest of them off camera, and then we'll see what the next step is going to be. Alright guys, now that most of the substructure is completed, now I need to figure out how tall I wanted to make it, because this looks like it's way tall. And if you guys remember way back when I first started telling you guys about scratch building, perception, the length times the width times the height has to all work together. So I wanted to figure out where the crane was going to be and how much clearance I had and so on and so forth. So this is what I came up with. And as you can see, I did remodify the crane. I made it a bit narrower this way because it was too dominating. And also, I'm suspending. I had to do this just to make sure I had enough clearance to get cars and stuff in there. But I actually am suspending that crane with 2 rubber bands. But the significant difference is that I went ahead and cut. Let's see if I can get this back far enough. I cut 15 feet off of that, and I think that that looks really good just the way it is. So with that being said, all these vertical structures will be cut down by 15 feet. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back in a little bit. Well, unfortunately, this video is going to come to an end here because I ran out of material to continue. But I will go out at some point this week and pick up the material I need, and I will continue this build on my Friday night live stream on December 21st. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. PNSF 6951 out.